Welcome to the Kayak Bass Connection podcast. This is your host, Jared, live right now anyway, on Coffeen Lake, the first SIKC tournament of the year. I'm having a tough time. That was my second fish. The first one is a nice one at 19. It'll be interesting to see who wins this. This is a record attendance for SIKC. I know it probably won't be me. I'm just not on the numbers or the size I need. But hang on, we're going to talk to people that win. All right, welcome, folks. I told you we'd be back with the winners of the Coffeen tournament. So, man, what a day we had. So this is welcome again to the Kayak Bass Connection podcast. We are doing things a little different tonight. The intro is already recorded on the water. And as you can see from my intro, I am not one of the guys that cast a check on that tournament, but I have the guys that did with us tonight. So let's just introduce them real quick. First place, we had Wade Harbaugh. Did I say your last name right, Wade? Hobaugh. Okay, Wade Hobaugh. With 98.5 inches. Wade, you're from Gillespie, Illinois, right?
Yes.
Second place, Keith Gressler from Troy, Illinois. They had 95.5 total inches. Welcome back on the podcast, Keith.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
And a guy that's been on the podcast almost more than I have as the host, Darren Hemker, was a third place finisher with 94 3/4 inches out of Germantown, Illinois. You know what? I could sit here for about 5 minutes and read off kind of what Darren's pedigree is. He's definitely one of the hottest fishermen anglers in the Southern Illinois Kayak Club. Multiple event winner, Angler of the Year, former Crossroads Championship contender, championship winner. Welcome back, Darren.
Thanks for having me.
This was an incredible tournament, and I know that maybe at least a couple of you haven't been to a whole lot of SIKC tournaments. But let me put this perspective for you. This Coffeen Lake tournament, April 12, 2025, was the largest attended tournament in SIKC history. And we had 46 anglers participate in this tournament, 234 fish. That's just the ones that were uploaded to Tourney X. I have a feeling there's probably a lot more that weren't, especially from the way some of these folks were catching fish. We just set attendance records for competitive, for new competitors. We had a new rookie class that was large. We had a record purse, which Wade knows all about because he took home the biggest check of the day, right? And then we also had a record payout for the Big Bass program that went out at the end of that event. So, man, what a great thing. And a shout out to Midwest Kayak Company that helped make that Big Bass payment check a little heavier. We can talk about that a little later today on the podcast. Man, what a blast off to the first regular tournament of the season. Darren, you've been in this tournament season a little bit. How does the first tournament compare to the first tournament in the last couple of years?
Well, it was incredible to see that many kayaks all at the boat ramp at one time. It was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, wasn't that great?
It was really cool.
I was trying to take some pictures and they're spread out all over. I couldn't get them all in one frame.
I've never seen anything like that personally.
Well, especially for what we like to. We're a grassroots club, if you would. I think membership. What is it? Something like is it 60 or something like that? I think it is total that's available. Josh should have to clarify that. But man, we had such a fantastic turnout. I talked to a lot of those anglers that were like first time attendees. At the end of the day, even if they caught fish, they were really happy. And if they didn't catch fish, they were still pretty happy. They really enjoyed the experience. So that's a great thing. So that's one topic I wanted to get into tonight. So I know that, Keith, you were just on an episode where we talked about being a rookie as far as the kayak division goes in tournament play. And Wade, I did a little research on you, right? You've got quite a pedigree of boat tournaments behind you, correct?
I used to fish BFLs in the early 2000s for just 2 years maybe. And I went to a couple of Toyota Series events.
All right, fantastic. So how would you compare the atmosphere or whatever you experienced at Coffeen and at the SIKC tournament to what you experienced years ago in those bigger boats?
This was way more fun.
Okay.
I mean, it's exciting to go to like the bigger lakes in Tennessee, but as a co-boater, you get frustrated because you have an idea what you want to do and it's not your boat, so it ain't your place. This is really the first time I've got to say, well, this is what I want to do. So win or lose, I go do it.
Very nice. So can you give us an idea how your day went Saturday? We all know it ended very well. And as a as a result of great fishing. Kind of, how did your day evolve from the time we blasted off?
We blasted off, and I got beat to the first spot I wanted to try. So I went down a little farther, and there was boats ahead of me, and I just followed them, and the stars aligned because I caught a 19 and then a 19. I mean, all within maybe 20 minutes. I mean, it was early, and another 19. And I went around a corner and caught another big one. And I thought then, I said, well, this is going to be a good day.
Yeah, you had a heck of a start. So how quickly do you think you had a limit?
I think 7:30
Nice.
I had a limit. I think one of them was a 13 or a 15 or something like that. I know by 8:30 I had, I think, 96 inches. And then I went back to the point that I wanted to start on, and I did end up catching a 20 and a half off that point later in the day.
So what was it, and you don't have to tell where it was, but what was it about that particular point that you thought, that's where I wanted to start my day?
Ever since last summer, I've caught a good fish, 18, 19, 20 inches off that point almost every time I've been there.
Okay. History.
Just something about the point and the outside of the grass there.
Okay. Yeah, that was a familiar theme that I heard with a lot of top 10 finishers. They talked about just basically the grass edge. Did you try to fish that grass edge, or were you fishing in the grass above it? Or
all my fish came off the edge. When I was going down the bank, I was casting toward the bank, 3 or 4 feet out, because I was using a little crankbait. It runs 5 foot, so I got in a lot of grass. On the points, I would start out casting, bring it in, and I'll keep moving in until I hit grass, and then I'd move on. Once I hit grass, and I'd already covered it all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Keith or Darren, how did you guys deal with that grass? Because there was some slimy stuff there at Coffeen you had to deal with. If you got too close to that grass, you're gonna be cleaning things off every time, right?
Yeah. I mean, most of the day I was throwing a chatterbait, so it was just a flick of the wrist, get rid of most of it. I mean, it was some of the newer stuff was kind of slimy here and there, but for the most part, it wasn't too bad,
All right. Now, Darren,
usually
he's a chatterbait fisherman.
Yeah, I basically was throwing that chatterbait as shallow as I could get it, and every time I'd feel anything touch it, I was ripping as hard as I could, trying to get it out of there. And that's how I kept that bait out of the grass all day.
What were the water conditions near you guys? I just tell you that I went north from the ramp that morning, and of course, the week before that was a blowout. There was tons of water dumped into the system, and north of the ramp was really dirty. Were you guys fishing in that dirty area?
I did that weekend before I went north, and the water was like 5 or 6 feet, 4, 5, 6 feet high, and it was chocolate milk that Sunday before, and the water had come down almost a normalish pool when we got there Saturday. But I headed north down the dam arm, and if you weren't in the wind, it was probably a foot and a half of clarity. But as soon as you turned the corner and you got into that wind, I mean, you were looking at 4, 5, 6 inches maybe clarity, and it was all kinds of foam on the edges near the grass lines. You weren't seeing much at all.
Yeah, so I got to the lake, and I'd never been north before, so I turned straight to the north, and I was like, you know what, let's try it. Never been up there before, so my plan was go all the way to the trestle right away. Well, I got up there, and there was already a boat up there. I have no idea where he came from because I didn't see a boat trailer in the parking lot, but there was a boat up there already. So I turned into the first arm up there and started fishing. And I mean, it was cold, and it was chocolate milk up there. I think it was like 50, 51 degree well water, and it was really, really, really muddy.
Yeah. I found it up to about 58 degrees after the sun came out. That was about the warmest I could find back in the.
I started seeing close to 60 towards the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, it warmed up a lot. So tell me, Wade. So you went through that. You got your limit already. You said you're at 95 inches for 8:30. So was it the same technique you just stuck with all day, or did you evolve?
Yes, I used maybe 15 minutes coming back down another bank just for something to do while I'm coming down. I threw a spinnerbait. But I picked that crankbait up in the morning, and it stayed in my hand pretty much all day.
All right, nice. Keith, what about you? How did your tactics just progress over the day? Did you have to make some decisions?
Well, after our first podcast I did, and Dustin pretty much told me everybody in the entire crew throws chatterbaits.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's kind of what I like to do too as well. I mean, I've only been fishing here for a year now, but that's kind of been my go-to. So I spent the last 2 weekends trying to find something else, and I kind of found a bite on a flashy swimmer underspin and a double willow blade spinnerbait.
Nice.
That I was catching my larger fish on the previous 2 weeks, so that was my plan, was to try to get 5 fish as fast as I could with a chatterbait and then go trying to find a couple big fish. That plan worked as far as getting my limit pretty fast, but then I lost my one and only underspin within like 5 or 10 minutes. I threw around a double willow blade for a little while and got a couple bites, but never that big fish I was looking for. So after that, I pretty much stuck to chatterbait. 2 different chatterbaits in my hand. I had a gold blade in a lot of muddy water. That worked really well for me. And anything that was cleaner, I was using just a dark blade, painted blade, and that always worked there. So I pretty much, those are 2 I stuck in my hand the whole entire day.
What about you, Darren? You're famous for Mighty Max. You're famous for all sorts of chatterbaits. What would you look for in that?
So I got there throwing it's actually a JDM chatterbait. It's by Jackal. I don't even remember the name right off the top of my head. I started throwing it, and for some reason, I just didn't like it. Something just didn't feel right. I threw it for about 5 casts, and I didn't like the feel of it, so I put my Evo on that I always throw in bluegill color. As soon as I put that on, I think I missed 5 fish in a row. I just would hook them. They'd pull a little bit and just pop off. I don't know what was going on with there. So I switched chatterbaits. I guess the hook was dull. I don't know. Switched to the exact same one, just a brand new one, and immediately started really catching fish. And I had my limit. I think from the time I started casting that new chatterbait, I had a limit in 30 minutes. It was bang, 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 all 15, 16-inch fish. And then I went up to, I found a deadfall, and I know people are going to be upset. I used live scope, and I looked at this deadfall, and I could see there was 2 big fish on it. So I take the jig, and I threw the jig in there, and it's sinking in 8 feet of water, and that fish moved probably, I don't know if it could feel the vibrations or something of the jig moving, but it moved probably 5 feet and T-boned that jig, and I caught it, and it was an 18.5 right there. Went a little bit further and seeing another deadfall, 2 more big fish on it, and I threw in there, and the first one I hooked into, I popped off at the edge of the boat. He was probably 18, 19 plus, and then the next one I hooked into was a 20 3/4. My bigger fish all came on the jig and live scoping them and deadfalls, but everything else came up shallow.
So that you made an interesting statement there. So that fish came from out from underneath that tree to hit that jig. What do you think the visibility was in the water at that time? Was that
6
a darker
inches,
area,
maybe a foot?
Was clear? Yeah. So what a testament to the fish's ability to feel
Oh,
that
it's
vibration.
amazing. And it hit it like it was mad at it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I watched it do it on the live scope too, so I was hook sitting before I even felt the bite damn near.
Wow. I really can't wait to see people that are able to record their lives with the live scope images. I mean, I know you watch some stuff on YouTube and things, and they do some of it, but one of these days someone's going to make a live scope where you can just have a video output on it. Have some really good footage of catches like that. Yeah.
It was a cool one. It was the coolest one of the day.
Wade and Keith. No, nice. So you mentioned the live scope electronics. So Wade and Keith, I mean, what are you guys outfitted with? Are you guys using electronics? If so, how far have you delved into that?
I haven't used it to catch fish. I use it to find, like, just to look for an amount of fish or bait fish or trees out in the water. I just bought a new Mega Live 2.
Okay.
And I've had Garmin, Lowrance, Mega Live, and I bought the new one. And I like it, but I haven't used it yet.
Okay. The Mega Live is not the one that's 360, right? Is it still something?
That's a Mega 360. I have that too. I had on a kayak. I took it off. It's a little too much.
Okay.
But yeah,
So what's the difference between the one that you got rid of and the one that you just put on then?
Mega 360, it doesn't show you the live fish. It's basically an advanced side imaging thing, except for it's 360 instead of left side, right side.
So now you got a conventional live scope that you have to aim the transducer?
Yeah. I made a mount that I can just pick up and put in the boat or put in the kayak when I take off.
Nice. What about you, Keith?
I just got a cheap little 7-inch Garmin that's probably 7-8 years old. It was on and off all day long because I had a bad connection, so I didn't really use it at all. So I fish the lake enough where I kind of know what, I wasn't going
to know the lake a little bit.
So everything was 5 feet or shallow.
Nice. Well, just kind of put things in perspective. It was like, Keith, was this your first kayak tournament?
Yeah. It's my
right, so
I'm just I just fished last year for the first time since like '94.
Nice. Okay. So you picked up fishing after a long absence then.
Yeah, I've been fishing Coffeen a lot since June. So, I mean, I felt pretty comfortable going in, knowing that I could. I knew going in, I was pretty confident I could get 80, 70, 88, 89, and it was just a matter of finding big fish. And then I know some of these guys like Darren and some of those other guys. If I knew I could get that, I was expecting them to hit 100 inches. I thought we'd have 98 might have been third or fourth place is what I was thinking, honestly.
Wow. Well, I mean, that's a testament to both of you guys, with the way you guys that first to second place here. You guys are limited kayak tournament experience, right? So, what I saw on Tourney X, I saw you have a half a dozen tournaments under your belt in the kayak, something like that.
3. Well, no, I
Three?
fished the fun one at Forbes, and then my first 2 was Banner Marsh and Coffeen of last year.
All right. That was the travel light, right? Where you were limited and quick.
Yeah, I did bad.
So, yes. So, what is it that made you guys, do you think, so successful? We got a first and second place here who has limited kayak fishing experience. What do you think was the key things that made you successful right off the bat?
Honestly, it wasn't me. It was just everything lined up. I'm still new. I'm learning. Every time I go out, I learn something like, I need to put my rope up to keep my hook from tangling in it, and keep this out because I use it a lot. And I learn something every time. And I just got lucky that these guys
100%.
They're so consistent at being in the money or just out of it that it's hard to beat them guys. It takes a little luck.
Well, don't sell yourself too short, but luck never hurts, does it? I'd rather be lucky than good any day, but I think in your guys' account, there's some talent there too. Keith, what about you? Is there anything in particular you think that you've concentrated on that helped you be so successful so quickly?
I mean, not really. It is. I mean, I fished the lake a lot, so I knew a game plan that I wanted to do going in, and I was pretty confident in what I was going to do. But at the same time, that lake was completely different than it was when I fished it last summer. And I was used to fishing the grass flats and 78 feet, 100, 200 yards off the bank all summer long. And also now I'm beating the bank, which I never did the entire year. I was covered in grass. And I mean, I don't know how to frog fish. I've never tied a frog onto my rod, so I have no idea how to do that. So, I mean, if it would have been like that, I'd felt even more comfortable being farther out off the bank.
Okay. So, what are the things you guys might do to get ready for a tournament like this? Is there anything in particular, Darren? I know you've been in so many of them. Is there any ritual that you have to get ready other than just make it to the lake?
Honestly, the only thing I make sure I do is retie all my leaders. Other than that, I just show up and fish. I think this tournament, this is one I think I pre-fished Tuesday before the tournament, just for I literally fished for bass for an hour and a half and had 88.5 inches, and I was like, yep, I'm happy with that. And then tried crappie fishing and got basically blown off the lake because it was blowing so hard wind wise, and I called it quits there. And I was like, well, if I can put up 88 inches and somebody beats me, that's more power to them, because I hate Coffeen with a passion. I do not like that lake. This is the first time I've ever been in the money there. I hate it. It's getting better, but I still don't like it.
Now, Keith, Keith, you live fairly close to that, or do you?
Yeah, I'm about 45 minutes or so away.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Wade? No, I know it's an hour and a half, right? Because you and I were texting.
No, about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. So rather pretty local lake. And Darren, it's a little longer drive for you, right?
Hour 10 maybe. Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't go there in my free time though. I hate that lake. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, I heard that. Well, now you guys, first of all, Wade and Keith, you guys plan on fishing more events this year, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I took vacation days to make sure I could make them all.
Awesome.
Fantastic. So is there any particular lake that you're really looking forward to with any stop on the tournament trail this year?
Just did it.
Okay.
It's the only one I know.
Started off with a bang.
It's all down from here.
I haven't been on Otter in 20 years. I love Newton, but Newton can be tough for me. I mean, fishing against these guys, getting big fish, and I have never fished the other ones. I'm already trying to
write a name down right here on my piece of paper.
Now.
I'm gonna write a name. I'm gonna write a name down that I think when asked this question of Darren here, that he's gonna say, which what event are you looking forward to, Darren?
Oh, it's always cedar.
I won. Imagine that.
I like cedar. Whenever I can put up 93 inches at cedar and still get third place, I mean, that cedar is amazing. Seeing 100 inches at cedar
Yeah,
is
and
it's
it's not
hard to beat.
unusual to have. Yeah, 100 inches.
I mean, I
Guess
guess
where I
not
am right now? I
Coffeen
mean,
didn't even get
Yeah, incredible fishery. So look, you guys mentioned Otter Lake, so let's jump ahead a little bit here. So our next tournament trail on May 3rd, trail stop is going to be on Otter Lake. What kind of Wade? You said you haven't been on it in a long time, right? Keith, Darren, you got any experience there?
I just started looking at some of the Google Earth this afternoon and stuff. And besides that, I plan on going there actually tomorrow. I'm going to go there tomorrow morning and check it out. I have no
Never been
idea.
there.
Never been there.
Okay.
I've never even looked at it on a map. I don't even know
Yeah.
where it is.
Yeah, I'm going to say so.
So you guys were talking right before we went on the air about they have they have an access fee to get on the lake or something. What is it?
There's
Yeah, when I called, it's either you can buy a day pass, and I think that was $15 or a year's $25 for a kayak.
Okay, so anybody that's planning on fishing that event, I assume, is going to need one.
I think they said something about they're going to try and get like a pass just for that day.
A group pass or something.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Okay.
So if you want to it or something, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about it. I'm not sure yet, but I think that's
Okay.
What Josh said.
Yeah, Josh is great about getting the facts out there. So just look at that Tony X registration information, and I'm sure he's going to cover that if it's necessary. You can let that slide by. So that's good. It sounds like a lot of you will be on kind of even feet, right, or level feet, because nobody has a lot of background on that lake.
I've never
just looked
until it came up on the schedule. So
I've literally got the map right here, but I've never been on it either. So it's certainly.
I saw it has muskie, so it's got toothy critters in it. So
Yeah, so you're
Yeah,
likely to lose
big
some
muskie.
expensive baits. So I also wanted to make sure I threw out that our big bass recipient. Did anybody get to see pictures of that fish? That was a very nice fix.
It was a good fish.
Yeah, 21-inch behemoth. And Joe is it Burchett or Briquette? He's fished, I think, several of our tournaments. Great fish. Talked to him a little bit before we came on the podcast. Congratulated him. And Midwest Kayak Company kicked in money that actually made that check even bigger. So that's really cool. Thanks to James and everybody there. Have you guys been to James's new shop yet at the Midwest Kayak Company
I have.
in Cape Girardeau? I wanted to make a trip down there. Take a look at it.
It's pretty awesome. I really, really like being down there. If you go down on Saturdays, they got breakfast burritos.
Nice. Yeah.
trying to get some next tournament, see if he can bring us all a burrito.
Cooler full of burritos. No, we appreciate their support of the tournament trail. That's a big deal. It's very helpful. So if you just had what's your one big takeaway from your experience? I'm going to ask Wade and Keith this because this is really fairly new experience for them. What's your one big takeaway from the kayak tournament trail series?
You just keep.
What do you think, Keith?
Keep learning.
Keep
learning.
I mean, just relax, have fun, because I took some of Dustin's. He gave some advice about getting there a little bit early, getting everything set up. How many things I left in the truck? It took me 5 minutes to get everything in the water, but then I forgot 2-3 different things in my truck. I had to keep going back for. Thank God I was early enough. But
yeah.
It's not. Don't take. I never plan on taking it serious. I'm just there to have fun, but just relax and have fun. I had no thoughts of competing with any of these guys that have been doing this for so long, and I just wanted to go out and catch 5 fish, and that's what I did. So that's what I'm going to go for every week, is just trying to find. I don't care if they're 12-inch fish or 22-inch. I'm just going to have fun and hang out and chill. That's all I care about.
Well, that's a great attitude, but cashing a second place check on your first kayak tournament, trust me, the rest of them know they're competing against you.
Well, I'd probably be the one in all the time, but that's okay. To pay for the rest of it, right?
That's awesome. Awesome. So, Wade, anything else you want to add? I know you're thinking about it.
Like he said, if you just go out, everybody's been great since I joined the club. You can ask them anything; they'll help you out. It makes you, it allows you to relax and just go out and have fun. Not worried about, well, should I do this? Do I do this? How do you guys? I forgot how to check in and check out. Like in the morning, and
Yeah, it's a nice atmosphere, and it's even better if you already got 100 inches or 90 inches under your belt. It's all. Darren, you're a veteran. What do you think? Do you have any big takeaway? Is it that you hate that lake? Is that the takeaway?
Yeah, I still don't like it. I mean, it was a good day of fishing. I caught, oh gosh, I
Yeah,
I
timing's right.
realistically think I caught 30 fish, or like keepers total, and probably 20 of those were over 16 inches. I just had a phenomenal day on the lake, but that doesn't mean I like it. it's
Nice.
it's still not my favorite.
16,
Everywhere and
those
fat.
15, 16, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
Everything
guys
I
saw a
caught was
picture of the,
pre-spawn. Is that what you guys saw?
yeah, spawn and pre-spawn, yeah. I had one on Tuesday that was spawned out. Her tail was all rubbed clean. She was done already. I couldn't believe that she was spawned out. I guess she was one of them early wave pre-spawns. I saw a picture a guy at the boat ramp showed me of a fish he caught out of Coffeen the day pre-fishing for a tournament. He bed fished for it. It was a 7-pound 6-ounce largemouth out of Coffeen, and I could not
How big
believe
again?
a
Can you
fish
fade it out?
7 pounds 6 ounces. Yeah.
Probably 5-inch fish, man.
That's a nice fish. Now, Darren, you've got a lot of things going on this summer, right? So are you still doing the team event?
Yeah, so we have a tournament actually. What is today? Today's Thursday. So Saturday we have a tournament at Banner Marsh. So we'll be up there with me, Dustin, and Susie, and Dalton will be up there fishing.
Okay. So is that your 4-person team? Tell us a little bit about this team tournament trail you're involved in.
So it's similar to the way we do our kayak tournaments, but totally different at the same time. So basically, with with this tournament, it is 4 people on a team, and it's your best 10 fish overall through those 10 people, or through those 4 people, sorry. And it doesn't matter if one person catches 10 fish, it doesn't matter if one person catches 1 fish, and it still counts. So as long as it's your biggest 10 fish, it counts towards the tournament. And there'll be 4 teams there, so 4 teams of 4, so it'll be a 16-person tournament, which isn't huge, but one of those teams is from Michigan. One of those teams is from more of a northern Illinois, and then the other one is more central-ish Illinois. I think they're Bloomington area, and then we're just kind of everywhere. We're just kind of everywhere club because me, Dustin, and Dalton are all pretty far south, and then Susie's up there by Peoria. But it's a really really fun way to get out and fish. Honestly, just a tournament, and we'll see how we do. I know whenever I show up or whenever I have it on my team, people that I'm scared are going to beat me at a tournament, I feel really good about the tournament every time.
Yeah, you got a heck of a crew there.
It's
Now, where else is there multiple stops? I mean, or is it just 1 or 2 lakes that you're going to hit?
I believe we have 5 tournaments this year. It's going to be we're at our home lake will be Coffeen. So Coffeen will be in like August, and then Banner Marsh is Bass Mob's home lake. Clinton Lake, which is right there next to you, Jared. That's the Berserkers, I believe, is what their team name is. That's their home lake, and then the Michigan team I think chose St. Clair. So it should be a really really good time. And then there's one other mutual body of water. I think it's in southern Michigan, but we'll have a good time with it. And if we do really good throughout the whole thing and we end up first in points overall, we'll get to go to the championship of KBT. And I believe I think it's on a lake in South Carolina, maybe Murray Lake. I wouldn't quote me on that, but
okay. Nice. Are you going to be able to make all the SIKC events, or is there any conflicts there?
So we specifically designed it to where it wouldn't be any conflicts here. But I will probably not be at least the last September tournament. So I probably won't be able to make Crossroads if I do make the team this year, because I'll hopefully be going to Canada to go try to guide waterfowlers up there. I fly up there Monday actually
nice.
to interview for a job. So we'll see how that goes.
Fantastic. You've done that for a couple of years, right? Not
in Kansas, yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck with that. That's awesome. All right, guys. So just to wrap things up, I wanted to again congratulate everybody. It's quite amazing to me. I think if you look at the response that we had with this tournament, I'm very glad that Wade, you took home. I think probably one of the biggest checks that SIKC has made. That's fantastic. And that Keith could come on the scene and pick up a new passion or reignite an old passion in fishing, right? And then suddenly be able to be really successful at it. Darren's incredible persistence and just reliability. I mean, it's just even a place that he doesn't like to fish, he's whooping most of the fields. Guys, I want to congratulate all 3 of you, and thanks again for coming on the podcast tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.